What's up, y'all? Illegit here. About to go over this no limit Deuce-Seven hand I just played in a tournament. I really like no limit Deuce-Seven single draw. It's a really good game. It's probably one of my three favorite games, along with Pot Limit Omaha and No Limit Hold'em. I like the big bet games. Anyways, yeah, and I've actually had really good results in these tourneys. In the 11 that I've played, which obviously is a tiny sample, so doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I've gotten 4 firsts, 1 second, and 1 third, which is really good. Obviously, my ROI is huge, but I don't think it's all just short-term variance, though that obviously is part of it, but also just when I play, I notice people making huge, gigantic fundamental errors, like open limping, and then they'll call a raise and draw 2 out of position to the person. That's just a really bad play, no matter what they have, and I see it like all the time in these things, that people are just really bad at this game and don't understand it at all. So even more so than No Limit Hold'em or Pot Limit Omaha, where they're also bad, but they're definitely not as bad. Anyways, so here, this guy I've already noticed is very loose and bad, Rakito. So I have a good draw to a 9, a 1-card draw to a 9. So I'm going to raise over this guy's limp. If he does something like call and draw 2 against us, we could even pat the queen against a 2-card draw, because it's probably a favorite. I mean, it's definitely a favorite against a 2-card draw, and I think against most 2-card draws, I should say. But if he draws 1, then obviously we'll break the queen and probably have a better 1-card draw than he does, on average, since he's so loose and bad. Okay, so I raise to isolate him and get position. Everyone folds to the blind and him, who both call. Okay, good. Okay, now Kiz, the big blind, draws 2, which is terrible. He should not defend out of position with the 2-card draw. Now Rakito also draws 2, which is also terrible. First of all, he limped, then he called a raise, and then he drew 2. There's absolutely no hand that justifies doing this, really, out of position. Even a strong 2-card draw, you shouldn't be limp calling raises out of position. I break my queen, obviously, and make it 10, which is an excellent hand against 2 2-card draws. It's not an absolutely excellent hand, but against 2 2-card draws, it's a huge favorite to be the best. Now, curiously, this guy leads out over pot into me after drawing 2, and I drew 1. So this is players are bad at this game, but this is very rarely a bluff. Even though he drew 2, and you're thinking, well, what's the chance that he made a good hand? Yeah, not that great, but if he were going to bluff, it's very unlikely that he would bluff into 2 players, especially one guy who only drew 1 card. And if he did, he's not going to bluff this huge oversized bet. So I'm going to fold to this bet, even if Rakito also folds. But it's kind of funny. Now Rakito shows, making it a really simple fold at this point. So I go ahead and fold, and Kiz calls, and they both drew 2 cards, and they both made 8 lows against me, which is very sick. My reaction in the initial video when I was taping it live is kind of even more priceless, because that's such like an absurd result to that hand. For me to make it 10 against 2 2-card draws, and they both make 8s, which is like 8. And 8 low is a huge hand in No Limit Deuce-Seven. It's absolutely monster hand. So yeah, that was a pretty thick hand. But the main thing is, Deuce-Seven can be No Limit Deuce-Seven can be a very profitable game, because so many people are so bad at it, and you just need to. I'm basically self-taught, but the fundamentals of position and basically just card sense that you learn from other games if you play poker a lot definitely apply to this game, and you should be able to pick it up and dominate these people. Anyways, it was just a funny Deuce-Seven hand. Peace.